The DIY game is super strong in home ownership. And while it's really, really fun to make your property totally your own, before you go ahead and fully embrace your inner Chip and Joanna Gaines, make sure that you avoid these top mistakes. When you're thinking about doing renovations on your house, there's two main categories that you're going to fall into. The first is that you're going to live there forever and you're going to renovate it to customize it to your long-term joy, and you don't care what anybody else thinks. Well, congratulations, you can do whatever the heck you want. If you fall into the second group, however, that group is going to be thinking of renovations in terms of resale. If this is either an investment property for you or one that you know you're going to turn around and sell in the next 10 years, renovations need to be carefully considered. The first question I want you to ask yourself if you're renovating for resale purposes is this. If I do this project, is a buyer going to walk into this house and look at their realtor and say, why? Because if that's the response you're going to get from the average person, it's not a great project to tackle. As we dive in today, I've got the top 9 renovation mistakes that you want to avoid when you're redoing your house. Number 1, not getting a permit, not using a professional. Cheap labor gives you cheap results. And for big projects, if you're not getting it permitted, it's gonna come back to bite you. And if you're just using somebody who's kinda handy, that sort of crummy craftsmanship is going to show. In fact, for the longevity of your dream home or for the resale value of your house, not getting a permit and not getting a professional to do the work is, in the words of Julia Roberts from Pretty Woman, a big mistake. Huge. Number 2, going way too custom or way too trendy with your renovations. I'm not here to say that you can't pick colors that you like or do the projects that are going to be meaningful to you, but just use it in context. A great example would be a house that I was in several years ago, where in the dining room they had literally done a mosaic tile of the family's name and initials. Yes, you can cover that up with a rug, but something that's not easily changed or redone is definitely going to affect the long term. Number 3, consider the timing of your project. If it's for your personal dream home and you don't care what people think, just make sure it revolves around your life, your travel, the holidays. If, however, you're going to sell your home, particularly if you're trying to get renovations done to sell it quickly, make sure you buffer in enough time for the projects to be completed. Construction always takes longer than you think. Number 4, think about what's behind the walls. Sure, it would be great to open up your kitchen and take the wall out, but have you factored in plumbing and electrical wiring? This also circles back to having professionals come in, because not everything is just going to be an easy demo day type experience. Before you start swinging your sledgehammer, make sure you really assess what you're trying to move. Number 5, particularly if you're trying to expand the footprint of your house or do anything outdoors, make sure that you're paying attention to your city and county regulations and possibly your HOA. Some of these do have specific rules as to what you're allowed to do to your property. So before you put down a bunch of money and put in a project that you can't have, do your homework ahead of time. Number 6, using cheap materials and not getting enough. It's very easy to think that you can cut corners and get the cheap flooring or the cheaper discount cabinets, and if it's just a quick flip or an investment property, maybe that's the right fit. But if you're wanting the ultimate joy out of your house or the ultimate top dollar out of your house, spring for the higher quality. And a really good pro tip, always, always, always order extra flooring. It's great to have on hand if something comes up, if you have to pull a board, and buyers love to be able to see extras in case they want to do any projects themselves. They can then match it. Tip number 7 comes in specifically when thinking about kitchens. Ordering appliances. There's a very strategic way to do this. A lot of people wait until the kitchen's done and then try to find appliances to match the space. I say that's a mistake. You should pick the appliances that you want, measure them, and then make sure that your kitchen's going to fit those appliances. Now here's where the appliance dance comes in. You're gonna measure them and pick them out right up front, but you're probably not gonna really order them until it gets a little bit closer to completion. That way, you actually have a place to put them. You can thank my dad for number 8. Longtime contractor, furniture builder extraordinaire. He always taught me, Measure twice, cut once. Paying attention to detail is really important in home projects, especially if you're doing some things on your own. It is always super important to measure and really make sure you know what you need, because once you cut that material, there's no adding length back to it. And for my final tip, number 9, don't over-improve. Over-improving relates to seeing what's around you. If you, for example, live in a neighborhood where every single house is about 1,400 square feet, 3 beds, 2 baths. If you add on an extra bedroom, that's okay, but if you add on an extra 2 or 3 bedrooms, you're never gonna recoup those costs. So again, if it's for what you want, great. But if it's for resale value, assess what the comparables are nearby and try to model that as best you can. Now that you know some of the top renovation mistakes that sellers make, you might also be interested in some of the questions that sellers ask me all the time. Be sure to check out my video on the top questions I get from sellers on a daily basis. I'm Lindsey Johnson, your resource for all things real estate. See you next time.